And I will say, I watched the movie last night with everyone for the second time.
Oh, sure.
And I still got jump scared. On,
did you really?
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, ah! I was like one of the loudest people in the theater.
I was screaming too. I'm like, I know what's going to happen.
I know, I was there, and still I can't help it.
Hey, great.
So I got to start with Heather. I'm a huge fan of yours. And I think that the audience sympathy always kind of goes towards you, so it's fun to see you
Except
take on.
in this movie.
Yes, exactly. It was fun to see you take on like a villainous role. But I know you've done a bit of action before, but have you ever done anything quite as extensive as you do here?
No, that's one of the things I was so excited to do in this movie is that I've never done action sequences that are this long. I mean, the whole movie is just a lot of really crazy, wild action sequences. So I hope it starts my career as a shit-kicking, ass-kicking, I don't know, action hero.
And Myha'la, I heard that you're not necessarily a horror fan.
I have a hard time watching them.
So what was it like for you being on a set that was like filled with carnage and blood and very practical effects?
Yeah, there was a lot of this. I mean, I just can't look at the bloody stuff for too long. Thankfully, I had read the script before I got there, so there was no surprises. It's a lot easier making it than it is watching it. And I will say, I watched the movie last night with everyone for the second time.
Oh, sure.
And I still got jump scared. On,
did you really?
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, ah! I was like one of the loudest people in the theater.
I was screaming too. I'm like, I know what's going to happen.
I know, I was there, and still I can't help it.
Heather, I have to ask, in recent years, you've kind of been doing a lot more horror movies, and a lot of your stuff has been great. Like Suitable Flesh was really well received.
Awesome.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And the horror community seems to, they're very loyal, and they've kind of embraced you, I think, as one of their own. What do you think it is about the genre, though, that makes people so committed to seeing it, particularly in theaters? I feel like it's the last genre people really do want to see in a movie theater.
It's one of the most lucrative forms of movie making in the cinema. I would say horror fans are actually some of the nicest fans I've ever met. You know, when I've gone to a convention, the horror fans are the most polite, the sweetest, you know, even though they're into like the craziest wild movies. But it's very visceral. It's life and death, and it's kind of this crazy roller coaster ride, I guess. Well, I mean, why do you think?
I mean, I think it's people just really like being scared together. There's some kind of release, I think, about you know, being scared. It's like, so, you know, and screaming, like, you know, it gives you a rush in some ways, I guess. I don't know. That's why.
Thrill
I think, anyway.
seekers.
Exactly.
Being
it's like,
safe about it.
It's why you ride a roller coaster,
Yeah.
right? You like being scared. Well, Myha'la, I have to ask, one of the things I really enjoyed about your performance is that you have this duality to you, where you really kind of are sympathetic, but then there's kind of a hidden aspect to it too. I had to imagine that was something that makes it a little different than other horror movies that I've seen, where characters are kind of basic. Yours is very kind of nuanced. So I wonder if you talk a bit about that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think that's the gift of any role, is when it's a challenge. I always am looking for complexities and contradictions, because I think human beings are filled with those, and
Sure.
those elements make it feel real. And if they aren't there on the page, I always try to find them. But yeah, I think Kirill did what he set out to do and flipped this genre on its head and go left every time he's supposed to go right. And I think that he really did that with this character, because she's meant to be sympathetic, but she's also at times an antagonist, so it challenges the audience as well to like how much can they forgive, or how much can they understand.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope if there's a sequel, I see both of you again. I know that
Thank you.
Your character.
I hope so too. Thanks for saying that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, Zazie, I have to ask first question. I had no idea that the axe was actually on fire. in
Yeah.
that scene. What was it like doing that complicated fight with an axe that's literally on fire?
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a lot as an actor to work with, for sure. But I'm really proud of that fire scene. We worked really hard on it. We wanted to really get that second nature in the body, so that everyone felt as, you know, so that everyone did feel safe. There was like a lot of plan, a lot of technicality. The people who like get set on fire, because they are people on fire, you only have like 45 seconds before they have to be like extinguished. And so, you know, timing is really important. And like people did tap out because it would get too hot, and like people you get extinguished. And there's like fire accelerant on the axe, so sometimes it like sprays when you hit things, and I was like doused in fire retardant, had a wig that was velcroed on so I could rip it off in case the hair caught on fire. So it was like a lot of technical preparation, and it's hot. But I think, you know, the sum of its parts, I'm proud of that we were able to pull it off.
And Patricia, I have to say, of course, you're beloved by the horror community with doing my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Oh,
yeah.
thanks.
What was it like playing the villain in this one? I'm used to seeing you as the hero. That's the thing. I always automatically sympathize with you, I feel.
Well, I love this genre so much.
Yeah.
And I also love martial arts movies. And
Yeah.
I love heroine movies. And
Yeah.
I love comedies. So this is kind of a mashup of all these different kinds of genres. And when I read it and saw Krill's first movie, I thought, wow, he's the perfect person. This is his sense of humor. He's incredible with the camera. He's great with action. And I was a big fan of Zazie's, and I knew she was going to kill it. So I was like, I'm happy to be a part of this. And I also think, yeah, there are a lot of people that are doing bad things in the world, right? Even though this is art and this is comedy and this is a heightened reality, somehow people are convincing themselves or normalizing themselves to really horrible behavior. And
Well, you know, I agree. And I think, though, also horror as a genre is the one thing that people kind of, you know, unites people, I think, more than any other genre. I was wondering if either of you had an opinion of why that might be. Why is it that everybody really wants to see a movie like this with an audience, with people, even if they're strangers?
I feel like horror really plays into some of the most primal things we all universally experience, right? Like in most films, you're potentially exploring a more niche kind of human perspective, whether that's about your sexuality, identity, love, whatever it is. Fear for life is pretty universal. And I think also sort of being able to play in a heightened world, you get to sort of examine the human condition in a more sort of like bright scale, because you just see the stakes are higher. But ultimately, I think everyone is like, what would I do in this situation? You know, you can actually
Probably
kinda-
die.
Yeah, maybe die, you know, and you can reflect on that. And so, I feel like it's just actually a universal, relatable thing.
I think that kids now are so trapped in their phone and isolated from each other. I grew up in a time they saw Nightmare on Elm Street in the movie theater. I saw it in the movie theater. We were all scared. We were all freaked out. And oh my God, he's so cute. Oh my God. And Halloween and all of that. It's an interactive group experience. There's an energy moving through the room. And young people are this is the wrong word, but dying to connect with each other.
Sure.
To have shared experience, to say, I saw it at this theater. I saw that. Did you go last night? Did you go to opening night? Did you do this thing? And talk about that. And also meet each other. And have shared things to talk about and connect with. So I think this is that kind of movie. I'm excited to be a part of that. And I think it will be really cool for young people.
Well, thank you very much. I had a blast
Thanks.
watching it last night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Chris Bumbre, JoBlo.com. We love you guys. So I have to ask you, this is your first movie with your new company. What can you tell, as a horror fan and as a dedicated member of the horror audience, what can you tell us about your company's kind of mission, what kind of movies we can expect? Because this was a great first movie.
It's not about one thing on
Yeah.
a specific like subgenre. We want to, it's an exploration. Find, new voices, or not so new voices that come with new ideas. And just like find those branches, This is the tone and the style of They Will Kill You is very specific and very unique. But that doesn't mean that we want to make only that kind of movie.
It
So,
is the movies that we want to see. That's
the criteria.
Yeah.
Well, what was it like for you guys seeing it at South by Southwest last night with a
Incredible.
packed audience?
Were you there?
I was. It was great.
It was
Incredible.
unbelievable. Best audience in the world. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, that is the thing, though, and I asked Heather this and Myha'la. Horror seems to be the last genre where people really only want to experience it in theaters, right? Streaming, it just doesn't really work as well for
Thank
horror.
God.
What do you think it is about the genre that makes it such a kind of a communal thing?
It's an experience. It's an experience, and you were in the theater yesterday.
It's
and
fun.
It was packed,
And
it's it's a theater where you have like a person right on top of you,
Yeah.
basically, and you know, you vibrate and you're vibrating with the audience, and you are having all these feelings magnified by the amount of people in the theater. It's a unique experience.
It's a shared experience.
Yeah,
and
you're
it's
not going to
like-
get it
no,
in
no.
your living room folding your underwear.
Yeah.
And you know, something that I liked about the movie too, that I wasn't necessarily expecting, was how innovative the action design was.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting a horror movie. I didn't know that. I'm a big action fan, so it was a very welcome development. But everything seemed like it was practical, though. Like there wasn't a ton of CGI, especially in the fight scenes too, where you can always tell it's like CGI stuntmen.
Oh man, like the lengths that Kirill and his team went to for getting that you know that authentic feeling are incredible. Like flaming axe.
Yeah, it was great. That was
It
my
was a
favorite
flaming
scene.
axe.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was a flaming axe, and every guy that is hit by a flaming axe is a guy that is hit by a flaming axe in reality. And I was.
So Zazie was actually wielding a flaming
Yeah,
axe.
Yes.
and I remember when we
Yes.
watched the first test, which we didn't know if it was going to
Yeah.
work, and you know, Kiri didn't know if it was going to work, Zazie didn't know it was going to work, and it worked so beautifully.
Yeah, it's a really
and
great
then,
moment.
Shout
you
out
know,
to
it was committing.
Shout out to the stunt team
Yes.
in
Yeah.
South Africa
Yeah,
because they ate so many flaming
Fiery
axes for so long. But also kudos to Kirill
Sure.
that brought this vision, and he was basically unwavering in the practical.
The BTS. So, you know, as we were seeing cuts of the movie, oh my God, am I gonna spoil it? In the fiery axe
Yeah.
scene, there's a table that splits,
Yeah.
right? That was done practically,
Oh,
and
wow.
you know, as we were assembling, the two guys pulling the sides of the table with cables were still there in the edit for a long time, and it's just wonderful to see that.
I know.
You know, it's wonderful.
takes longer time of your shooting days, but you can feel it.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
So yeah, I saw you last night at the premiere, and you seemed pretty hyped. What did you think of the reaction to the movie? The audience was very into it.
It's like overcame all my expectations. I was destroyed emotionally because it was too much for me. I barely kept, but I am very happy. It's like it took 3 years to make this movie. It was a very long journey with a lot of bumps and hiccups, and you know, when you are deep in the process, you don't really understand how it's like work anymore. You hope that you do right choices but then you're like, you can't see it as a movie anymore.
Sure.
And yesterday I was able to just sit and like feel it through the eyes of the audience, and hearing people like scream and laugh and react it so loudly. It's such a blessing. It's such a reward.
Well, one of the things I wanted to say that I really appreciated about the film is that you used so much practical stuff instead of, because I really don't love the look of CGI gore in a lot of movies. It kind of drives me crazy as a horror fan. So I thought a lot of the effects work was unbelievable.
I mean, all gore was practical.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that's our was goal from day one. We talked, and I'm exactly like you. I thought like, if you love the genre, you appreciate handcraft.
Yeah, of course.
And it could look cheesy and goofy and funny or like over the top, but it has charm, and it like reminds you the movies you loved when you were a kid and what like why you love this genre. So we just like went full way there.
Well, especially in this era where everybody's talking about AI and stuff, it's a treat to see something that's clearly handcrafted, right, by artists, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
What was the most challenging of the fight scenes to shoot? I figure it has to be the axe on fire, which I was surprised to learn was actually a real axe on fire.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
knew that when we finished the scene, I knew that people would doubt that we actually made it,
Yeah.
because it looks so unbelievable, especially
Yeah.
in the modern like cinema when so many things is like just painted on top. But funny enough, no. Because this scene was so big and complicated, and we were thinking about it so much that we were really over-prepared. We rehearsed it, we like had so many safety protocols, we basically like repeated each element of the scene so many times before we actually shoot it. So that was like easiest 4 days of shooting through the entire movie. And that was like really easy. surprisingly enough, the hardest and the most challenging things, like small, for example, moment between the walls,
Yeah.
which I didn't think that it will be very difficult, but the space is so tight.
Sure.
And it's so like suddenly like you can't move around, and it's like, oh shit, we wasted a whole day trying to make it work. And it's, yeah. And so those things that like, I think it's on all my movies, when you don't think that it will get you, those moments are the most tricky and dangerous.
One question that I've been asking everybody, and I have to ask you, is that as a person who values the theatrical experience, what do you think it is about horror movies that make it uniquely suited to that makes it really hard to appreciate on streaming?
I mean, you need the collective, like, experience of collective viewing, because you feel the emotions of your neighbor sitting next to you. You feel like yesterday, and not only horrors, but this movie is a genre blend, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like horror, but it's
Action
also
too,
action, but it's
yeah.
also a little bit funny. And you see it, and you alone at home, you could be confused. Well, like, what the heck I'm watching? But sitting in the cinema, and there is like one guy laugh, and one guy is screaming, and you just feel this energy, and it's like gets to you, and you also like, and you pump each other.
Yeah.
And you just have this greatest ride and enjoy it. And it's, I don't know, it's those type of movies I think best to watch. And I was so happy yesterday because this like South by Southwest crowd is so great.
Oh, yeah.
So grateful.
Well, I had a blast, man, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.